What's up, Disney dudes and dudettes? In this video, we'll be talking about canceled Disney princesses we'll never get to see coming up. So over the years, the Walt Disney Company has definitely gone through a lot of changes. And so as of such, they have a lot of abandoned Disney projects that they never got around to, such as Beastly Kingdom for Animal Kingdom, as well as Snow White Returns. But this video, I wanted to focus on the characters, such specifically that of the Disney princesses that they could have gone with, and how the company could have been completely different had they have gone through those projects. So in this video, I'm going to explain the reasons why they didn't go through them and almost give a what-if situation and what they would have looked like. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first up on our list is Goldilocks. In the 1930s and 1940s, Disney really was looking at doing a Goldilocks film. So much so that during the early days of Disney, such as Silly Symphony, Disney was in the works of doing a Silly Symphony cartoon on Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And believe it or not, there happened to have been a lot of concept art for the film, such as the design of the bears and that of Goldilocks, who, believe it or not, was actually modeled after that of Shirley Temple. Now, what's really interesting and a little bit odd is that the project never actually made it off of the ground. We have this concept art and it seemed like it was going to be greenlit, but nothing ever came to fruition. And what's really interesting is that in 1939, MGM Studios came out with their own Goldilocks film, and they claim to have had the help with Disney, but the MGM studio did the animation part. And looking at just the overall film, I could definitely pick out a lot of similarities between that and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's almost identical in the animation style. Disney revisited the idea in the 1960s, but again, nothing came of it. The company did finally bring the character of Goldilocks to television through Disney Junior with their show titled Goldie and Bear. The story, however, takes place after the events of the original tale. Okay, so what if the Walt Disney Company actually went through with a Goldilocks movie in the 1960s? What would she look like, and would it be the classic animation style that we all know and love? Well, through the use of some artificial intelligence and Disney Imagineering, here's a bit of concept art that I did of what Goldilocks would look like if she was in classic 2D animation. Now, I can definitely picture Mark Davis's animation style for this particular character, since it would have been in the 1960s. And we all know that Mark Davis is one of the 9 old men responsible for creating some of the most iconic Disney women in Disney history. And so I could definitely picture him doing something like this on the project. I can definitely envision the combined efforts of that of Alice in Wonderland and Snow White mixed into one character, with the curiosity personality of Alice in Wonderland with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, as well as the outfit and just the overall innocent style of Snow White. I could definitely picture this being a very big Disney film. Unfortunately, we'll just have to imagine it for now. Okay, next up on our list of canceled Disney princesses is Little Minnie Haha. Little Minnie Haha would have been a sequel to that of Little Hiawatha, a Disney short that was released in 1937. It features a young Native American boy named Hiawatha who finds himself in a sticky situation when he comes in contact with a ferocious bear. Hiawatha became such a popular character that he was featured in multiple comic books, some of which that featured Little Minnie Haha. Disney took a lot of great interest in this and wanted to do a sequel with the character. In fact, Disney did a couple of storyboards with the character, along with other familiar faces such as squirrels that looked very reminiscent of that of Chip and Dale. But for some unforeseeable reason, the project never greenlit, and so to this day, it has just remained a mystery of why it was never developed. Okay, so what would have happened if Disney did a full-length film of Minnie Haha perhaps in the 1990s? Would it rise up to the same expectations of that of Pocahontas? Well, here's a bit of concept art that I had in mind of what the character might have looked like. I don't know about you, but I can definitely picture this character looking a lot like Pocahontas, but this time she would be 18 years older. So what do you guys think? Would Minnie Haha would have been a success had Disney done it in the 1990s, similar to that of Pocahontas? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, next up on our list of canceled Disney princesses that we'll never get to see is Odette from Swan Lake. Swan Lake is one of those stories that would have fit perfectly as a Disney movie. It literally has everything that a regular Disney movie requires. A princess that is tragically cursed, and the only way to break that curse is with a vow of true love, with a climactic battle scene between the bad guy and the prince. Literally, that is just Disney gold right there. So the question is, if Disney had the opportunity, why didn't they go with it in the first place? But unfortunately, when Disney tried to turn it into an animated feature in 1992, it lost an agreement that would allow it to do so. The project landed in the hands of a former Disney animator, Richard Rich, who made the story into a movie called The Swan Princess for New Line Cinema. Imagine though how better it would be as a Disney film. So here's a bit of concept art of what Odette would have looked like if Disney had done it in their style. Okay, so concept art number one, this one would be a combination of Snow White and Drusilla. I know, not the combination you would think of, but it kind of works, given the fact that Odette in the ballet is portrayed as a brunette, or black hair or whatever. I could definitely imagine this being more in line with the ballet. However, I do think that the concept art number two would actually rely more with Disney's history. Given the fact that this would be Tchaikovsky's music, I think the main character, Odette, should look more like a cross between Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty mixed into one. Next up on our list of canceled Disney princesses that we'll never get to see is Dorothy Gale. Not many people know this, but Walt Disney really wanted to do an animated version of the novel The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The company had many opportunities to achieve this goal, but history had other plans. Walt Disney originally wanted to have The Wizard of Oz be the company's second animated feature film after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But unfortunately, Walt Disney missed the boat, and literally the rights were then scooped up by none other than MGM Studios, who produced the iconic film with Judy Garland. In 1951, Walt Disney tried to get the rights to the books again, but unfortunately failed to do so. And this was actually in 1951 when Alice in Wonderland came out, which was another story about a girl traveling to a magical world, very similar to that of Wizard of Oz, but slightly different. Despite the film being a hit for the company and being called a classic, Walt did not like the final product. Then finally, Walt Disney finally acquired the rights to the books of The Wizard of Oz in 1954, and they actually planned to do a live-action film called The Rainbow Road to Oz. A number of Musketeers were set to star in the film. Darlene Gipsy would have been Dorothy, Annette Funicello as Princess Ozma, Bobby Burgess as the Scarecrow, and more. So the question is, what happened to this project? Well, unfortunately, a couple years later, the planning of the project was abandoned due to the script being unsatisfying, as they felt it didn't meet the quality needed to compete with the success of the 1939 film by MGM. However, the project morphed into the often forgotten 1961 live-action production of Babes in Toyland. And watching the movie, you can start to see a lot of similarities between that of The Wizard of Oz. However, in the mid-1960s and 1970s, Disney released a lot of records and read-along books based on the number of their animated films. But one of the books was rather particular, and that was The Wizard of Oz. Yep, you heard that right. There literally is a Disney-published book of The Wizard of Oz that's a read-along, along with the record as well. So now that we have established that Disney had in their possession the ability to do the film, let's get into the what if Disney actually went through with the film. And so here's a bit of concept art of what Dorothy could have looked like if Walt Disney had did it in his classic animation style. Okay, so first piece of concept art, you can definitely start to see how this could have definitely looked like Dorothy. I can definitely see the animation style of Mark Davis, giving Dorothy this iconic look that's a cross between that of Wendy from Peter Pan, and also that of Snow White as well, with the blue headband and the bow, and then the blue little outfit, and then the white or cream, sleeves and that sort. This definitely is what I think Dorothy could have looked like. It was in the 1950s, being drawn by that of Mark Davis. And then my second piece of concept art is actually based off of that of Shirley Temple. Now you might be thinking, why Shirley Temple? Well, believe it or not many people know this, but Shirley Temple was originally casted to play Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. But due to some concerns over her singing skills, she didn't end up getting the role. Now, the reason why I think this would have been perfect is because Shirley Temple was actually present during a lot of pivotal moments in Disney history. Starting from that of the early days of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, she was actually the one to present Walt Disney with the Oscar at the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiere, and was also there in 1957 at Disneyland during the grand opening of Sleeping Beauty, the walkthrough, and was actually there helping Walt Disney cut the ribbon. So we have two moments in Disney history that Shirley Temple was present, but there's no record of her ever playing a Disney character. And what would have been better than playing that of Dorothy, the role that she never got? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if there's any abandoned Disney characters that you would have loved to have seen in any Disney film, I would love to know. Leave a comment down below, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified every Thursday when we have a new video. And as always, have it!